Okay, lay down. He's saying, Mom, shut up and dance with me. Boom. Hello, you guys. Hello, welcome to your Q&A. I am so pumped that you are here. I don't know if you notice, I keep like flip-flopping my stations. I'm really trying to figure out where the ideal place is going to be for me to have my desk in Barbados. So I'm like playing around with all the spots. It's so good. So I think I might have decided on this one. It kind of gives me all the best views and the best internet access. So I'm just going to go with that one. So I am super pumped you are here. We have some solid questions happening. So hello on Facebook, hello on Zoom. I'm going to open up your questions and let's get to it. And then I will leave time at the end. Those that are on live, you guys can put your questions in the chat. And you can also put them in the chat on Facebook as well. Is it a date? It's a date. Okay. I accidentally closed up my form. Okay. Question 1. What is the difference between getting emotionally involved in the goal and being emotionally neutral? That's a really good question. So the best part is you can be both. You can be both. Okay. Getting emotionally involved with your goal means that you got to think like your goal, if it's big enough, if it's like badass enough, it's something you want more than anything. Okay. It's something you want so bad. And you like literally when you think of it done, you could just like cry because it just is so good. Okay. That's getting emotionally involved with your goal. Okay. And when you start to bring, because remember, everything's created twice, first in our minds, in our energy, and then in matter, in the tangible. Okay. So you have already created the goal in your mind. It's already done. It's already created. It's here in one form or another. We just can't see it yet. And as you are given all the opportunities, the people, places, things, tools, resources you need in order to bring it into the tangible, as you start seeing evidence of this, this is where you get to remain emotionally neutral about it. You're not going to get like, oh my God, this is freaking out. Okay. Because when you do that, that is when you're letting your subconscious mind know that this is a rarity. This is an anomaly. This doesn't happen to us all the time. Whereas when you can remain emotionally neutral, right? You're coming at it with an expectancy. Like you already know it's created here. You already know this. So the fact that it's coming into its physical form, this is cause and effect. And you guys already understand universal law. Everything is cause, and then this is the effect. By law, this has to happen. So why be shocked about it? I want you to be expectant. Like I've already created it here. I can see the car, the job, or the relationship, or the health, I've already seen it here. So the fact that I've seen it here, that's all I need to know. And now it's going to be in my hand. So as this starts to come, I want you to start to say, of course. Of course. Of course that just happened. Of course it was perfect timing. Of course the money showed up. Of course this person showed up into my life. Of course this opportunity popped up. Why wouldn't it? Because that's what happens to me. With my goal achieved, this is what happens. Stuff flows to her. Okay. All whilst, I don't even know how to say that. Probably just shouldn't say it. You are hanging out with your goal in your mind. You're hanging out with it. And it's not, when you're hanging out with it, again, you're so emotionally involved that you're like, oh, like this feels so good. But you don't want to be like, when I say, oh, you feel like you could cry, like you don't want to be sobbing over it, right? That's not emotional neutrality. You can be emotionally neutral with it. Like, yes, this is my vision. Yes, I see it. It's done. Okay. Fall in love, but make a decision now that you are not going to let your emotions run your thinking, because emotions are they're all over the place. I think somebody said this in yesterday's study club. That's why they're called emotions. Emotion. They're always moving. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm excited, I'm depressed, I'm whoa, whoa, whoa. Your human body will just go through all the things, and you don't let it run the show. You run the show. You've already seen it. You know where you're going. You're emotionally involved with it. You're like, yep, it's done. And you expect it. So anything that you expect to happen, like when the sun came up this morning, where you're like, no, because you're like, that's what happens. When daylight hits, the sun comes up, and that's what happens. Okay. I thought it in my mind, and I become what I think about all day long. Okay. Cause and effect. That's what happens. It's obvious. But being shocked over it just says to your subconscious mind, yeah, this isn't going to happen again. When really it's meant to happen over and over again. Right? So good. All right. Question. I realized today I need to rewrite the situation that I don't want every day. Are these the same scenarios? Oh, you might. Okay. So for lesson 2 and 3. Okay. So are these the same scenarios or different scenarios? So lesson 2 is all about writing out in detail the situation that isn't working. Okay. So pick a situation, whether it's just pick a situation that you want to change, something that's not going the way you want it to. Okay. And you want to focus on that one situation that you would like to change. And lessons 2 and 3 are always going to be your go-to lessons. And I will refer you back to them on a regular basis because they're the ones that are going to change your paradigm. Okay. And they're the ones that when something isn't going the way you want it to, it's the one that you're going to go to offset the situation. Okay. So yes, to answer your question, same situation. Okay. But make sure you have detail and understand that the law of polarity, the law of opposites will always kick in. Whatever's not going your way, there is an opposite to that. So pay attention to the opposite of what is actually happening. Okay. So when you burn, shred, release the old and put focus then on what you want to happen, you will attract in the opposite of this. You will attract in. And your paradigm's still going to swoop in and try to take you out and try to convince you that whatever your paradigm's used to doing, and you're going to reject it. You're just going to reject. And eventually it'll stop coming in, promise. You just have to be persistent. Okay. Write out how you want it to be and read it over and over and over. Write it out over and over and over. Record it, listen to it, immerse yourself in it. It got in there through repetition and it's getting out through repetition. But work on one situation at a time and form some positive habits. What do you need to believe for this to actually come true? What are daily habits that you have to have? What are thoughts that you need to have in order for this to happen? Because what you've been being, doing, thinking up until now is getting you the situation that you don't desire. Like you attracted in the situation that you don't desire. Like you have to take responsibility for that too. Okay, but this will build positive energy, and then everything is action, reaction, cause and effect. And then it'll attract in more and more and more. Okay, and remember in lesson 3, you create, the whole point is to create that productive thought, activity, behavior to replace the non-productive. You have to get rid of the non-productive. And I know, like, when you're in your burning ceremony or you're putting it through the shredder, or taking scissors to it or whatever, it seems like, oh, this is like so weird. Do it anyways. Because it's the symbol of it. Like as you're like, this is why I like to burn, because I can see it like burning, like I can see it going away. And it seems a little bit more permanent for me than like putting it through a shredder. Okay, give yourself a command and follow it. No excuses. Every single time. Okay. Awesome. That's right, Mel. Love your little emojis. Burn, baby, burn. Okay, question. What tips do you have to develop faith? First, you have to really, I want you to study energy. Because when you understand that everything is energy, and there's this law called the perpetual transmutation of energy. It perpetually moves from one state to another. Okay? Your faith is the ability to hold an idea until it moves from energy, a form of energy, a thought energy, into matter, into its physical form. Okay? Faith is your ability to hold it. The best tool to create the state of faith is repetition. It's like the only known way. Okay? I want you to, instead of like having faith, ask how to like get faith. And when you think of, there's my little person here. Faith is what you are feeling, is what you are experiencing in your feeling mind, or I should be pointing at the subconscious, their feeling mind, over fear. When you choose knowledge, awareness, growth, your goal, you then have to choose faith. Whenever fear pops in, whenever it's like, oh, I can't have it, or oh, I don't see it yet in the physical form, you have to have faith that it's coming. You have to know that that energy will transmute itself by law. Everything is transmuting from one form to another. I drink the water, it goes, it does its thing in my body, and then it transmutes itself, and it goes and it does something else. Someone had the thought, idea, energy that flowed through and said, hey, what if we make a computer that's handheld? Okay. You through growing your awareness and through repeating what you want over and over and over and over and over again will grow your faith. Okay, but like I just answered in the last question, you have to practice that law of assumption. You have to just know by law that the energy will transmute itself. You have to know that this is the cause and what you want is the effect. But you are either assuming or you're not. There's no like, oh, I kind of believe. No, you either believe it or you don't. Do you live in a world where you can lose? Like, I live in a world where I can't lose. Like, I serve people in such a special way that I can't lose. I'm not worried about ever being poor. I'm not worried about criticism. I'm not worried about failing. Because in everything that happens is happening for you. Like, do you have faith in that? Do you live in a world where you're just like, no, everything's happening for me, even if it's like, ooh, it's kind of a rude lesson. Okay, this is where you get to choose. You get to choose. Commit to growing your awareness. There's another tip. Commit, because when you are growing your awareness, you will, and repeating your goal over and over and over again, you will develop faith. You will develop faith and an expectant attitude. And as the energy flows to and through you, just be open to receiving whatever it is that you need next. But you have to be open to it. Like, if I'm holding this so tight, if I'm holding on to my fear, holding on to it so tight, I have no room for faith. You have to release. Okay, my hand's open, replace it with faith. Because that's the opposite of fear. And the moment circulation stops, that's when, like, the decay happens. It's like you're in your body. The moment your heart stops and blood circulation stops, you did. Okay, so begin to circulate you as your goal achieved. And that takes faith. Make decisions from her. Keep the faith moving. Okay. Question. I want to start circulating money so that it comes back to me. How do you recommend that I do this? So first, I want you to identify you with your goal achieved. How do they circulate money? How do they circulate money? Because what's happening right now is you're probably circulating money within your comfort zone. Most people do. Oh, I give at Christmas because that's what my parents did. Or I give, I'll give whatever changes in my wallet, but no more, or whatever. Look for ways to give, and even give when it's uncomfortable. Last night, Dave and I went out for supper, and there was a gentleman that walked up to us as we were getting out of our vehicle, and he was like very disheveled, right? And it was actually probably the first time we had experienced this while living in Barbados. Like, I hadn't seen, like, you sometimes go to like big cities in Ontario and there's like, you see a lot of homelessness and poverty in certain areas. And we haven't experienced any of that. And anyways, he started walking up, and it felt uncomfortable initially, but then we listened to him, and he said, "Can we wash your car?" And in my mind, "Can I wash your car?" And in my mind, I was like, well, that's service. And Dave immediately, because he's been studying this as well, he goes, "Yeah, how much?" Right? Like, what do you want for your service? And he said, like, $20. Dave goes, "Great. gave him $20. We walked into and said, thank you very much. Thank you for your service. Have a great day. We walk into the restaurant and I could feel Dave like kind of, because he had faced where he could like see our vehicle. And I said, how's the cleaning? How's the washing going? And he said, you know what? He goes, I'm not even going to worry about it, because he said, and he goes, Dave, goal achieved. And I think it's just all his years in policing too, and like seeing different sorts of things. He's like, he gives to stuff, like he just gives. And there was a service provided, and that's totally in alignment. And you know what, if the car doesn't end up getting washed, then that's his boomerang. Like, that's not mine, right? Like, I put out my good. Okay. And I thought, that's awesome. Like, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Right. Clearly, either way, that guy needed the money more than we did. Right. Anyways, our car ended up got cleaned, and he did an excellent job. But it was one of those instances where you always have a choice, right? You can stay in the discomfort and go, okay, no, thank you, and walk into the restaurant. Or you listen, one human to another. What do you got? Okay. What world do you live in? And what world do you want to live in? I encourage you to live in a world where there's infinite supply. But any thought in your mind becomes your source of supply. If you think that the money that you have in your wallet or in your bank or whatever you get paid every 2 weeks is all that's ever going to come, then that's all that's ever going to come. Or you can see the opposite, which is that it's infinite. Why would infinite intelligence put a limit on an energy source like money? Why would your spirit choose to live in a meat stick that you couldn't, get really healthy? Why would you do that? Doesn't make sense. Think about it. Okay, question. It's crazy how strong my paradigm is, right? Just when I think I have it under control, but before I know it, it's creeping back in again. Yes. Does this ever stop? No. And I honestly think of the Bob Proctor, who he tells a story, or told a story, and he studied this material for 60 years, about his 80th birthday, when they threw him a huge birthday party in Vegas, had this like penthouse suite at one of the main hotels. Like, this room would have cost like probably $100,000 for the night or something like that. And like, all of his family and friends had come to Vegas, and it was a surprise party, and he walked in and it was like, surprise. And he literally was like, okay, like, thanks for coming. Let me go. I just got to go to the washroom. And he went to the washroom, and he had to start doing affirmations about worthiness, about abundance, because his paradigm came in. Oh my gosh, this costs so much money. When he died last summer, he was earning $100 million a year. Okay. So like, money wasn't a thing for him. Yet his paradigm came in like, oh, this would have cost a lot of money. Right. And his like people pleasing tendencies of, oh, all these people are here, and I hope they, didn't go out of their way for me, and blah, 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 like all that. He had to like affirm that out, that he was worthy of it, that it rains money around him. And he did all of his mirror work, and then he went out and he enjoyed the party. He lived in the present. Okay. Like, this is where your paradigm's always going to come in. And the things that were once on your, the things that are on your radar now, they'll go away, but your really strong paradigms, like I even know for me, like my poverty paradigm, it comes in strong. And so does my health paradigm. Those two always come in strong. And I go do my mirror work. I do my affirmations. Just when you think that they're gone, and it doesn't even, and this is just the same thing with Bob, like my bank account now, like, and my awareness now, I'm not worried. Like I said, I'm not worried about money, but Linda remembers like having an emotional involvement with like being a kid in poverty. And like, there was lots of times in my life, like where I didn't have enough. And even my paradigm was programmed when I was making 100K a year at the hospital, I was spending it as fast as it was coming in, because my awareness didn't know how to earn more. And I thought that that was all I was ever going to earn. Okay, it will always come back in, but you will get better and better and better the more you practice it. It will not take you up for very long. Just like Bob was able to walk in, do some mirror work, walk out, done. You'll get that fast. You will get that fast. Just keep being persistent and practicing it. Have faith in that process. Know that that process works. Okay. Let's see here. Question for you. My husband and I always give 10% every time we get paid every 2 weeks. Awesome, cool. That's a really great practice. Should I be giving from my goal achieved? So should you be giving from your goal achieved? You got to meet yourself where you're at right now. So what I want you to do is I want you first to stop doing it every 2 weeks, because money comes in abundance to you. Okay. And I want you to make the decision from your goal achieved, in the fact that you, how much does she give? Okay. So if she's to the point where she's giving like, $100,000 a year away to do this or this or this, meet yourself where you're at right now, but automate it. Automate it. Don't stop this like every 2 weeks, because then it comes out and it goes out, comes in, goes out, comes in. But get into the habit. You, with your goal achieved, it's coming in every day while you're sleeping, like it's just constant. It's not every 2 weeks, right? Because you have multiple sources of income. I don't know who this question is by, so I don't know. I don't know if you're like an entrepreneur. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, my goal for you, whether you are on purpose and like working in a job, or whether you are like getting on purpose and creating something, it doesn't matter. Either way, I will be teaching you multiple streams of income. Okay. MSI. Okay. And when you're part of MSI, then you have money flowing to you constantly through multiple sources in increasing amounts all the time. Okay. And because that's happened, and I want you to be expectant that you will get to that. So an example, like what I did when I first realized this, because I was doing the exact same thing. I was doing it on like a monthly basis. Right. And I wanted to get out of the habit. I was in the habit of like giving more at Christmas or whatever. Right. And I was like, no, Delane Goal Achieved. She gives all the time. So, and she's like crazy generous. So I chose my certain things that I'm very passionate about, that I want to make sure I give to. And I put myself on automatic payments. Okay. And I'm already in the habit. I personally, I put everything on my credit card so that I can like track it month to month too. And then I pay it off. Right. So I just put it automatic on my credit card where it would come out every single month. And then I set a goal. I said, in 2 months from now, I'm going to double this from $20 a month to $40 a month. Okay. And then I said, send an alarm on my phone, make sure I remembered to go check it. And sure enough, in the next 2 months, I was like, yep, doubling it to 40. And in 6 months from now, I'm going to double it again to 80. Oh, yeah. Okay. I actually ended up doing it before 6 months. Okay. So you set goals for this, right? And but get out of the habit of this every 2 weeks. Okay. Because it's understanding and having faith in that perpetual transmutation of energy. Either way, yes, you're right. Your money is not meant to just sit in a bank somewhere. It wants to move, just like everything in this universe wants to move. Okay. So I love that you're already thinking that. And I love that you're giving with it. It's incredible. It feels good, it increases your vibration, and it's just, you're putting good out into the world. You can never go wrong, ever, ever, ever. Okay. But just pay attention to that other one piece, but try to automate it as much as possible. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Question. You're always telling me to make decisions for my goal achieved. Sure am. Should I be taking action now on doing things like having manicures at home, having a massage therapist come into the house, have a cleaning person come to the house? Should I be starting all of that now? Yeah, absolutely. And visualizing it. Okay. So again, just like with the tithing, okay, meet yourself where you're at. Either way, if you're already going to get your nails done, but your goal is that someone comes into your house and does your nails, look it up and start getting somebody to come into the house to do your nails. Get somebody to come into the house to give you a massage. And maybe right now it's once a month you have that done. And your goal is that, within 3 months, you're having it done every other week. And within 3 more months, you're having it done every week. With the goal of saying, I get a mani, pedi, massage, facial every week. Can you imagine? I have a personal trainer that comes to my house. I have a chef that comes to my house. Whatever is in your life script is already yours. You already created it in your mind. It just now has to come into form. Start meeting yourself where you're at and putting it out there. Absolutely, hands down. Very clear message to the universe that you mean business. Very clear message. Okay, cool. Can I create affirmations for healing my body? Heck yeah, you can. Heck yeah. Do you believe you can? Because you're going to get what you believe. If you believe you can, 100%. If you truly understand the relationship with spirit and the way it works, then you'll know that all you have to do is create an affirmation and command yourself to follow it. Visualize yourself living in a healthy body. Your meat stick is just a manifestation of what's going on in your mind. That's it. So people go on these huge diets or they'll start doing whatever. And it's like, yeah, but that's great. You can go on a diet till you're blue in the face. But if you don't assess and truly like heal your relationship with like food and fitness and like what it means to be fit or what it means to like live in a healthy body where everything functions the way it was designed to function. At 2 years old, my oldest daughter's pancreas stopped working, just stopped working. And outside of the days that we have to like do a site change or do whatever, I know what it looks like what a healthy pancreas looks like. And I visualize it. And now that she's older, she just turned 10. She knows what a healthy pancreas looks like. And I say to her, visualize yourself. That's yours. It produces its own insulin. It's done. And as long as she can hold it in her mind, it's already done. It's already been created now in one way, shape, or form. Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich. His son was born without like ear holes. And he did not at any point ever allow that affliction to determine who he was. And he had lots of people trying to convince him to send him to a school for deaf people. He didn't even let his son learn sign language. And then eventually he learned, because they didn't understand, I feel like it was like the mastoid bone or like one of those little bones. I forget how he actually ended up hearing. I don't even know if Napoleon Hill says, but it was the whatever one vibrates when you so he learned when he put pressure on it and spoke, that his son could hear faintly words through vibration. And then it led to a hearing aid, and then it led to, right? And now he can hear through the use of a hearing aid. Even Isabella, with the tools that she uses, with this thing she wears on her arm and her insulin pump, and they talk to each other, it is like a fully functioning pancreas. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's awesome. And we have great gratitude for it every single day. So you can absolutely create affirmations to heal your body. And you can even hold the vision for other people. Whenever someone posts on social media that, oh, like this has happened or that's happened, I always message them and say, I'm holding the vision of health for you. And I see them healthy. Just like the second you guys tell me your goals, I see it. I'm like, done. It's done. It's already been created. Even if you don't get it yet, I've already started the ball rolling for you. I created it in my mind first. Oh, Mel, you said my affirmation around my body being strong. Before falling asleep, I affirm that my body is healthy, and I go through my organs and I think about them functioning as I need them to, and affirm that I'm releasing all the unnecessary stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. For the most part, even if you're not a surgeon, you know what the main organs in your body are used for. I don't know exactly where they're located, but I kind of know where they're located. And I'm totally with you. Every night before bed, do a scan from my eyeballs down to my toes. Gratitude for them. And visioning, and honestly command your subconscious mind, say, while I'm sleeping, heal me, I will wake up in the morning and everything in me that needs to be healed is healed. And even if you don't wake up in the morning, it's perfectly healed. Hold the vision and keep asking. Because remember, your subconscious mind, which is what's controlling your meat stick anyways, it's working even while your meat stick has to sleep at night. Your spirit is always for expression. It's working, whether you think it is or not. Cool. Question. When it comes to creating a sense of urgency, how do I do this and what do I tell myself? So when you have a sense of urgency, and I encourage everybody to have a sense of urgency, it's like this firm pressure that's just like constantly moving you forward. Okay. And it means that you're truly committed to being somewhere at a certain time. Okay, so the law of gender tells us that everything has a gestational period. Everything does. Even if we don't know the gestational period of a thought seed. Okay, that's why you give yourself a date for your goal and you hold yourself to it. Okay, like catching an airplane. You need to be at the airport at a certain time. Then you got to be at the gate at a certain time, right? And you kind of backtrack. Okay, give yourself some incentive and motivation to put you into action for that date. Okay, but decide to move yourself forward and constantly just keep that pressure on. I always think of urgency like a Super Mario game where, you know, those, the black and like blue levels, like those ones, like the scary ones, and those little minion things are like hopping around. But the point of that one is the screen keeps moving. Like it doesn't matter. You can't, some ones you can go forwards and backwards. This one, the screen just keeps moving. And if you're coming up to a gap or a pit of fire or whatever, if you don't hop over it, the screen's going to push you right into it. Okay. This is the urgency. It's just this steady pressure. It doesn't start this or doesn't go fast and then slow. It's just steady, constant. And it's just enough to keep you moving forward, to keep you looking ahead. It keeps all those things off your to-do list that don't need to be there. Because you're like, I don't have time for those things. Like literally someone else, I'm either hiring them out or I'm not doing them. Like I'm deleting them. I don't even know why I've been doing them up until now. And you start to really get on purpose and intentional. Okay. A sense of urgency is crucial. And those that work with urgency get shit done. That's the way it works. Cool. Anybody on live? Do you have any questions? Any questions? Facebook, Instagram? Feel free to throw them in the chat or unmute yourself. Beauty. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Those were great questions. I love them. And happy Wednesday to you. And I hope you guys have the most incredible day. Bye, you guys.